Welcome to I Survived 100 Days in Hypixel Skyblock. Now, for those of you who are wondering, it's pretty simple. I'm going to be on a hardcore profile, meaning I can't die, and it's also going to be an Iron Man profile, so pretty much I can't trade or interact with any other players. The goal of this episode is to try and survive 100 days, or at the very least, to see how far I can make it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get straight into it. Now, on day 1, as you would do in any world, I immediately went to the /hub and began farming up carrots. Now, farming, I guess, is just, that's what you do at the start of a Skyblock world. It's pretty good for making early game money. Farm up, get farming level 1, then you buy yourself a rookie hoe, and then you can just start lobby swapping for carrots because they buff the amount of money you get from leveling up your skills recently. So it's actually a decent amount of money early game. You can make like 20 to 30,000 coins just from getting like farming 7, which is something that takes only like 5 minutes. After I'd made a little bit of money, I went over and bought some white wool so I could unlock the carpentry level, because carpentry is something you, I guess, passively unlock, and it's pretty important for early game. I then unlocked a golden axe and a pickaxe and a couple of other tools, and I went over to start farming up pumpkins because that is probably one of the best early game armor sets. Now, apart from giving it decent, a couple of bits of health and a couple of bits of defense, it also grants 10% additional damage and 10% less damage taken, so it's actually very good early game because it's like adding 10% to your health and defense and adding 10% to your damage. Now, on day 2, I had crafted up the pumpkin armor and I began reforging it with Titanic. Now, the early game is a lot slower than you would normally because I can't die, obviously, as this is hardcore. Then I went over to unlock a weapon. Now, I made the mistake early game, I'm going to admit it, of trying to unlock the cleaver, when obviously the best option would have been an undead sword because it does an additional 100% damage to undead mobs, and the majority of mobs early game are undead. Now, on day 3, I finally felt comfortable going over to the deep caverns, and as you can see here, I have a cleaver with sharpness 5, and then I have an undead sword without any enchantments on it, and the undead sword without enchants actually out-damage the sharp cleaver. Now, I'm going to hold on to the cleaver, obviously, in case I have to kill something that isn't dead, but for now, I'm going to go and enchant my undead sword, and hopefully I'll be able to one-tap lapis zombies. I then decided to go unlock a bee pet because the taming level is a great thing to start working on, and it's also something you unlock passively. I did a little bit of farming just so I could level it up a tiny bit before making my way over to Portal Hub so I could collect up the cakes and gain in a little bit of an additional bonus. I then made my way back to the lapis area, where unfortunately I can't one-tap the lapis zombies, but I am doing double the damage I was doing with my cleaver, so 2-tapping is a lot better than 4-tapping. On day 4, I unlocked an enchantment table, and I obviously grabbed myself a bunch of bookshelves because I want to be enchanting with enchantments that require more than one bookshelf level. Now, unfortunately, I did not have enough XP to get looting and luck maxed out on my sword, so I just went with the highest level I could possibly get. Now, I don't really struggle with health or with doing damage, so I'm just going to put all my enchantments now into unlocking the armor a little bit faster. Now, day 5 to 8 was spent unlocking a full set of lapis armor, and now I know what you're thinking, Modcraft, there's no way it took like 50 minutes to unlock this set of lapis armor, right? Well, if we check my lapis kills, 700, but I also dropped 13 lapis crystals somehow, which was just proving, the average Skyblock player's luck. Now, obviously, as I go to mine up some redstone, I drop 2 1% drops back to back, because obviously Skyblock had to make up my RNG somehow, and dropping 2 flaming swords is the equivalent of spending 5 days to drop 1 set of lapis. Now, I'm sure most of you guys have played Skyblock before, which means that I'm sure most of you know that doing anything in this game literally takes hundreds of hours. I mean, it literally took me like 60 minutes, which is like 6 days, just to unlock the Dwarven mines, because I needed 30 enchanted ores, and I needed to mine up to level 12. But now that I've finished that, I can now unlock the Dwarven mines, and I can get to mining to make a little bit more money, and progress further in the game. Now, as I said, it took me from day 9 to day 15 to unlock the Dwarven mines, but on day 16 I was here, and the Dawn Espresso event was going on conveniently at the exact time. Now this is great because obviously your first 2 commissions are mining mithril and doing an event, and conveniently this event involves mining mithril. Now, unfortunately, it is in the Goblin Burrows area, which is probably one of the scariest places for me to mine, as it's one of the only 2 spots where I can actually be killed by a mob. However, I should be fine to at least get like 1 tasty mithril so I can participate in the event and get my commission completed. Now, conveniently, I did find a safe spot where I was only slightly harassed by goblins, and I decided that I didn't want to really risk it. I mean, there's no way I'm risking 15 days of progress over 1 simple commission, so I'm going to leave, and hopefully this will let me get the commission completion, even though I've only participated in 3 out of the 10 tasty mithril that you need to add to get your personal bonus. Now, after completely messing up my words, I'm able to come over to the king, and he does let me get the commission completion, which is great. I'm now going to spend the next couple of days unlocking the crystal hollows so that I can get some better armor, and I can start working on making some money from mining up gemstones. Now, on day 17, I implemented the insane skill of going to the puzzle and having no idea what block I'm meant to start on or what direction I'm meant to look in. I do now. I checked the wiki after completing it. However, apparently you're meant to stand on the glowstone and look towards the entrance of the room. It didn't really matter because I just ended up mining up every single block until I eventually found the one that I needed. Now, this is pretty good early game because it gives like 1,000 mithril and a couple of coins, so it's pretty good for increasing your mining speed. On day 18, I'd completed all of my daily commissions, which means that I'm no longer guaranteed an additional 1,000 Heart of the Mountain XP, so I'm going to leave that for a little bit, and I'm going to go and unlock the garden. Now, I'm a big fan of the garden for this series, because there's literally nothing on there other than me stupidly somehow running into the void that can kill me, so I'm going to clear up a plot, and then we're going to get to farming for a little bit. Now, day 19 was spent simply collecting enough carrots to cover the entire area. It was about a stack of enchanted carrots, so it did take a decent amount of time. Now, my goal is to unlock the melon armor, however it is 250,000 melons just to unlock it, and requires 24 times 4. It requires like 80 enchanted melon blocks, so it is a lot of work. However, it is one of the best armors because it's what you use to unlock the croppy armor and then eventually fermento, and you also need garden level 6, so hopefully just from doing a little bit of crop milestones, I can get there in a couple of days. Now, day 20 to day 24 was spent farming up carrots. Now, the first 2 days were basically just spent waiting around for the carrots to spawn in, while the final 2 days were spent conveniently doing a Jacob's contest for carrots. Now, I did get bronze, which is great. I don't think there's any chance of me getting anything better than bronze, but I'm also not going to get below bronze. Now, I know I want to farm up for some melons, but in the meantime, I think I'm going to do some pumpkins first, so I can get the upgrades of a lantern helmet and farmer boots, as they are probably a lot cheaper and probably in some cases even better upgrades than the melon armor. Now, luckily for me, the first pest that spawned on my island was a rat, which gave me 2 additional enchanted pumpkins, which means I can now buy 4 from the farm merchant, and you only need 6 enchanted pumpkins to max out the entire plot, so that's really good for me. And now I have an entire plot of pumpkins because there's really no way in the hub to conveniently farm up pumpkins, and I would have had to reset the entire plot, and it would have been like a half an hour expedition. Now, once again, day 25 was spent just waiting around for my pumpkins to grow. However, conveniently, there is a Jacob's contest for pumpkin in around about 16 minutes, so I'm going to farm up until then and then farm for the entire duration, and spend the next 4 days farming up pumpkins to see how much loot we get. Okay, so as I said, day 25 to day 29 was spent farming up pumpkins. Now, we are currently about 2 minutes on day 2, or day 26, but we're currently 2 minutes away from the Jacob's contest, and we're only about 9 enchanted pumpkins away from the lantern helmet, which will grant an additional 1 farming fortune for every single farming level that I have, meaning right now it's granting me an additional 20 farming fortune. And then, as you can see, I obtained it during the farming contest, and the contest has just ended, and I'm now 2.5 stacks over the enchanted pumpkin helmet, which means that I am now 1.5 stacks away from the farmer boots. This means that I'm probably going to farm up for like another day or so, and I'll have enough pumpkins to get the farmer boots, and then I can swap over to melons. On day 30, I finally unlocked the farmer boots. Now, this means that I, in total, will grant another additional 20 farming fortune. So if we check, in total, I now have 160 farming fortune. Obviously, I want to work on increasing this by a little bit, but for now, I'm just going to plant the melons and probably do a little bit of work while I wait for that to spawn. Now, on day 31, I decided to do something about the visitors that I've been neglecting. So the ones that I did have the crops to trade with, I traded with, and the ones that I didn't plan on getting the crops for, such as sugarcane and potatoes, I just sent them away so they made up space for more of the visitors. Now, I used up the copper that I gained to buy a Sundar 1 book, which will grant an additional 12.5 farming fortune on my axe. Now, day 32, as per usual, was spent waiting around for my melons to grow. Unfortunately, I did not have anywhere near enough melons, so we only have 3 lanes. I'm going to farm this up and then replant them and wait another day, so I'll see you guys in probably like day 33. Okay, so it is day 33 right now, and my goal is to unlock at least the melon chestplate and leggings, because obviously I already have boots and a helmet that increase my farming fortune, so we'll see how long this takes. I'm not sure if it's going to take like 5 days or 50, but I'll see you once I've made a decent amount of progress. Okay, so I've run into my first problem, which is the fact that my inventory literally fills up in less than 1 row, which means basically, obviously because I'm on an Iron Man, I can't make an order, like a personal compactor, so I'm going to have to craft like twice every single line, so I already know that this is going to take a very, very long time. Now, on day 35, I've come to the realization that I'm probably going to be getting around about 4 enchanted melon blocks per day. This means it's going to take me around about 20 days to unlock my full melon, or not even the full melon set, just 2/4 of a melon set. And from there, I'm not even going to be making that much money from farming, and it's going to be a massive amount of time out of my 100 days. So I think I'm going to take it and probably, like, it's not like a complete waste because obviously the lantern helmet and the farmer boots are upgrades to my original armor, but I think I'm going to sell the melons and see if I can get into Arachnes to start making real money. Now, on day 35, I was farming up Lapis and Lapis zombies, A, to get combat XP, and B, I also got the additional experience, which was, just great as a sideways bonus. However, I didn't realize I was actually 1 enchantment away from unlocking the experimentation table, which is great because, A, it does give experience, which, grants extra bonus experience points. However, I would love the chance of getting a grand experience bottle, which is what I got. Now, it's great because A, it's not just 1 grand experience bottle, it's actually 10, so I should be able to max out my entire armor set, and maybe I'll have enough effective health points to grind up clay sites without the fear of dying in like a 1-tap. Okay, so I've enchanted my entire set with max, growth 5, prot 5. I was originally thinking of only enchanting the pieces I didn't plan on replacing very soon with clay site pieces. However, I'd much rather live by a ton of health than die with a ton of XP. My pet is also going to still be my bee pet. I don't really have other alternatives, so for now it's the best thing I can do. In total, I have 3,000 effective HP. Clay sites do 500 damage, so that means I can survive 6 hits, not including health regeneration. Now, on day 36, I was able to unlock the end by killing the clay sites, which was definitely helped by the fact that I could take like 7 hits without dying. I should now be able to go to the end. I highly doubt I'll be able to kill the enderman, but with a little bit of work and being able to get the grand experience bottles from shiny blocks, I should be able to 1-tap enderman soon, and that should give me a decent amount of experience. Never mind. My idea of how much damage I did was definitely fluctuated by the fact that I do a lot of damage to the clay sites with a pickaxe. I actually probably only do like 200 damage to the enderman, so my plan here is to continue to grind up the clay sites until I unlock probably combat 15, and at that point I'm going to try my very hardest to not die to the Arachne bosses, and then, just grind up about 10 million coins, get a god potion, and then I can think about doing enderman. Okay, so I was in the end and I just unlocked an end gauntlet, which is pretty cool. I also accidentally found out that nest endermites don't do that much damage to me, which is good to know because I was a little bit scared that I was just going to get like 2-tap by them and the entire series was going to end. So that's good to know that I'm not going to die. I'm also, happy that I got an additional 20 defense and 30 health from the ender gauntlet. So that's pretty much enough. I'm going to go to the hub so that there's no longer like mini dynamite around on the floor. And I'm going to hopefully find a new grand experience bottle so that I can finish enchanting my glaciate leggings that I just dropped. Now, on day 38, as I was mining up the shiny blocks, I saw people spawning in a dragon, and in my head, all I was thinking was, please do not be an unstable dragon, because it's the only dragon I can't kill, because if you enter the area, there is like a chance that at some point, the unstable dragon is going to strike everyone with lightning, and it will literally 1-tap me, so that's probably not worth it. Now, any other dragon would have been fine, but obviously, I had to be unlucky, and they spawned an unstable dragon in, so I'm just going to avoid that and continue mining up some shiny blocks before returning to doing glaciates. Okay, so Hypixel, I have a genuine question. Now, I just hit combat 14 and, 900 kills in glaciates, so pretty much here, is it I have a 1 out of 400 chance of dropping any piece and then it's just like a random piece, or is it I have a 1 out of 400 chance of dropping either piece, meaning I'd get a full set on average in 400 kills? Either way, I have dropped 9 glaciate jewels because I accidentally sold one to the NPC, and I've only dropped 1 glaciate piece. So could you please explain, because either I meant to have dropped 4 glaciate pieces or I meant to have dropped 16. Either way, I've only dropped 1. Please explain the RNG, and also why is there no RNG meter for glaciates, because that is what we really need. Guys, don't worry, glaciates are fixed now. I just dropped another armor. Hypixel, is this a joke? Am I a joke to you, Hypixel? Like, what is this? A second pair of leggings is crazy. Okay. So I knew that Hypixel and I were like solid and we were really best friends. I just dropped 2 pieces back to back and they were both original pieces, which is great. I don't really care about the boots. The main problem was me getting a chestplate and leggings because I already have very good boots and a very good helmet, so the only piece that I could upgrade was the glaciate chestplate. Now I don't have to worry about dropping any pieces and I can just finish, getting to combat 15 so I can start making like 10 million coins per hour. On day 39 to 40, I spent the entire time grinding up glaciates, so I now have combat 15, which means I can now kill the tier 2 of Arachnes. It took me 1,500 kills, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces of glaciite, which was a massive turnaround from the fact that I had 1 out of 900. Okay, so this is the plan for day 46. Pretty much, I'm going to hit the Arachne at least one time, hopefully make sure I hit him once, and then I'm going to run away and try to not die. Now, I'm here, I'm just going to let them kill it. As long as I get top 6, I should get the same loot as everyone else. Then boom, now that I'm a professional leech, I'm going to do /hub before I die, go to the hub again so I can sell my stuff to the NPC. Now that was obviously only a tier 1, the tier 2s will give you 30 soul string instead of 6, however this one giving 6 already gives me 30,000 coins, so I'd imagine that a tier 2 would give me more than 150k, and that was literally less than a minute of grinding. Okay, so I found a second lobby where they are doing a tier 2. Now, I just joined to the very end, so I did very little damage. However, for this one, you have to place top 6 for the chance to get the most soul string, and there is clearly a lot more than 6 people here. I think I placed 8th, and I highly doubt I'm going to be out damaging them considering I do 150 damage per hit. So I'm going to wait around, I'm going to try as hard as I can for another one, but I highly doubt that I'll be able to do anything. Okay, so the most positive thing that came out of that was the fact that I unlocked the grappling hook recipe, which is cool. I don't think I've used the grappling hook in probably like 4 or so years, but it is pretty nice for your mobility considering I can't unlock the aspect to the end, and ender pearls are still pretty limited themselves. Okay, so day 46 and 47 was spent trying to find an Arachne lobby that wasn't already filled with like 100 people who do drastically more damage than me. I was unsuccessful, but hopefully I will find it soon, because right now I'm only making like 10,000 coins per boss, and it's much worse than the Okay, so unfortunately on day 50, exactly halfway through, as I was fighting an Arachne, I got hit by 3 venom shots in a row, which killed me. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't intend on dying. I never wanted to die in this series. However, I am already, 15 hours through, so I want to just finish it off. This is gonna be hopefully the only time I die, and I'm gonna try and figure out some way that like I can make up for dying. So yeah, hopefully you guys stick with it. It's not really gonna change it that much, obviously content wise, but it is just really inconvenient, I guess, for the entire series as a whole. Well, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. I obviously wanted to try and survive 100 days, but it didn't happen. And I mean, this happens in life. I feel like it's a good learning lesson. And I definitely didn't want to scrap the entire video because I'm editing it as I'm making it. So it would be inconvenient on my behalf to have to, remove the entire video. And I feel like there's still people who are hopefully, considering you've gone through the entire video, who will enjoy it. So yeah. And if you do want to let me, survive and maybe try and complete the 100 days and do another 50 days, then I can obviously do that. I can just, do it without money or some type of, you can comment down below what you think I should do to, make up for dying. And anyway, I also want to make another episode of me like surviving 100 days in normal Minecraft. So if you guys want to see that, stick around, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.